So I wasn't planning to do a video regarding the subject that we're going to talk about today. It's actually something that I actively chose to not talk about, something that happened, I think, last week. However, after really thinking about it over the weekend, thinking about the relationships that I have with my current guild members and ultimately some of my very close friends who happen to be members of my guild, thinking about you guys, thinking about, just things in general, being a guild leader, a raid leader, and hopefully, whether it be in the game or outside of it, a leader, a father, a manager in, a normal 9 to 5 job, etc. Ultimately, I think it's in my best interest to share with you guys the story that I'm about to, and hopefully impart some wisdom and a little bit of mindset onto you guys. And hopefully you can tell by my tone here, a little bit slowed down, a little bit. I think this is something that's important. Okay. I guess is ultimately what we're going for here. Now, from the outset, before I say anything else, I do want to say, just so we're clear, I'm going to share with you guys a story about something that happened. Like I said, I think it was last week. I'm not looking to start any shit, any drama, any crap. I'm not looking to call this dude out. I'm not looking to do any of this. Ultimately, if there's one goal that I have in mind for this video, it is your safety as an individual. And I know it seems extreme, it seems dramatic, but just stick with me here. So I guess let's start with the story. It was actually last Monday. Now that I think about it, it was Memorial Day, which is always a tough holiday for me. Just military service and whatnot. So I'm sitting there talking to some of my guild members, some of them that have kind of taken a break from raiding, some of them that are still actively raiding with me, and we decide that we're going to play some PUBG, a game I love to play. Okay, not very good at it, but still, I'll still play it. And we get in this 4-man squad. We're playing around, and I happen to, get unlucky and get killed. Okay, so I have 2 of my raiders who are still alive. They're still trying to get weapons and ammo and whatnot. And I'm just sitting here like goofing off, talking to them. And I happen to pull up my YouTube page. And I notice that I have a whole host of notifications, which is always a pleasant surprise for me. I love to, like I've mentioned before, get messages and whatnot from you guys. And so I click on it and I see I got a couple of new subscribers. Cool. And I have 2 new comments on my videos. Now I pull up the first one and I am immediately blown away. And not in a good way. Some of you guys have left some amazing feedback, some amazing questions. Some of you are very active in my channel's community. You guys are awesome. This wasn't the case. This was a young man who I'm not going to read the message that he left. I will put it on the screen here. It's pretty vulgar. And that's coming from, a Marine. It's pretty fucked up. And you can read it here, and I'll leave it on the screen for a little bit for you guys to kind of to wrap your brain around. And ultimately, I shared it. Excuse me. I shared it with the guys that I was playing PUBG with. These were raiders of mine. These are guild members. And after a second, we're trying to. It went from this idea that what the hell is going on to who the hell is this? And ultimately what ended up happening was that I happened to share a screenshot, the screenshot that you guys are seeing here, on our guild's Discord page, or Discord channel. Discord page? What the hell is that? Discord channel. And a couple of the folks that are in my guild who weren't playing PUBG just happened upon it, a few minutes later, said, hey, we know who that guy is. He's actually... on our Battle.net friends list. He was this guy that played with us during, I think, Emerald Nightmare and maybe the beginning of Nighthold. Now, if you read through the message that he left, ultimately it boils down to this. He was, he calls me out. He calls several other people out, in very vulgar fashion. He calls out, my fellow officers. He calls out one of my raid members, one of the sweetest young ladies I've ever had the pleasure of talking to and playing with. And this is a woman, that's, will do anything for you. She's super sweet. She's always willing to help you. And the things that he said about, me, I don't care about. I don't care. The things that he said about my officers, they'll get over it. Whatever. It comes with the territory. But it's just, I was amazed at the awful things that were said about her and about some of the other guys in the guild. Now, the problem here isn't so much that he said the stuff. Even though it's wacky crazy out there, it's not that he said that. The fact is that this young man feels that this stuff is true. He says that, my guild's toxic, we're bad, we're piss poor players, etc. That I guess the gist of it was that he had brought his warrior tank into the guild and helped rebuild. I'm trying to do this off of memory while I'm recording. Helped us rebuild the guild because we couldn't fill a heroic roster. And then he tanked heroic Gul'dan and secured the kill. But I guess the leadership, me and my officers, pulled him aside, or maybe just kicked him and told him that because he wasn't pulling enough damage as a tank, that we were going to have to sit him and replace him. I apologize. We replaced him with a warrior tank, now that I think about it. Now, here's the kicker. The problem with this is it's not true. And hopefully I don't have to tell you guys that. It's not true because I was in the tank during Gul'dan when we got the heroic kill. One of my officers was my co-tank. And I remember this very vividly, not only because there are screenshots that we have on the guild webpage that is in Discord, but the fact that I remember being so frustrated. I don't remember the name of the mechanic, but the one where you get teleported away and you have to run through the circle with other people soaking with you, or you blow up, whatever it is in Gul'dan. And he could just cheese it because he was a monk. He could just teleport back, took no damage, or, staggered, and he could just clear it off. Whatever. Really frustrating as a bear tank because I'm stupid slow, etc. I distinctly remember this. And I have footage on the YouTube channel of this. Like, there's no doubt in anyone's mind that this is not the case. Now, ultimately, I think the problem with this young man was he got us confused with another guild. I think he did. I don't know why he felt so much hatred towards me, towards my officers, towards some of my guild members. The fact is, we did kick him out. I'm not going to lie about that. We did remove him from the guild after me and one of my officers sat down with him on multiple occasions and said that, you are playing a character that is not pulling the DPS needed. He was a ranged caster. He was not a tank. He was a DPSer. So ultimately, like I said, I think, and after talking to some of the guild members here, I think that this young man, that he has us confused with another guild. Now, if you want to trash talk my guild, that's fine. Whatever. Again, it's not going to bother me. It sucks, but you know what? Ultimately, as a raider, your job is to find a group that you mesh well with. And if you're not willing to give me and my guild a shot, if you're interested, obviously, it's your loss because we're pretty fucking cool. But the reason why I want to sit down and talk to you guys is because of this. I have mentioned multiple times on videos here talking about the friendships that I have, about my friends, Justin and Jim and Mary and Blake and Rob, and specific people that I've called out, and so many more that I haven't listed. And I call them out by first name. Okay. I have these guys' phone numbers. I have almost everybody that I've listed here. I have their phone numbers. Some of these guys I've met in person. I've mentioned to you guys when we did the video on meeting up with your guild and safety and whatnot, that, that I was going to, or I had met up with some of my guild members. And we hung out for 2 days, in Washington, D.C. We plan to do it again this year, probably in about a month or so. It's something that I'm excited to do, to hang out with ultimately my friends. And here is a group of people who I have allowed into my home. I've had one of my officers text me and say, hey, I'm coming, I'm taking vacation from work. I need a place to crash for the night. Is that cool? Dude, come on down. He lives 3 hours away. I'm down for that. We've had other people who have said, there's one of our players lives in, about 2.5 hours away from me, 2 hours away from it. Come up and drink with me one weekend. Okay. It's things like this. And what I'm saying here is I've let these people into my personal life. I've had one of my officers speak with, interact with, play with my son. He has played video games with him. He's talked to him. He's played play with Nerf guns with my son. He's been in my house with me there. Ultimately, he could have done whatever. He could have murdered us all. He could have stolen everything he wanted. He could have done whatever. And he didn't, of course, obviously. Hello, I'm still here. But my point being that I have let these people into my house. I've let them, to be part of my family. These are people that I trust, that I have extended my trust towards. And what I want to share with you guys, impart to you guys, is this. This game, regardless of what it is, World of Warcraft or, PUBG, whatever game's hot, Fortnite, whatever the big, multiplayer game is that you'll stick around for a while, you can make a lot of really cool friends. You can. You've heard of people getting married. There's a couple in my guild that met over the game, and it's awesome. I'm very happy for them. But be careful. Because for every Blake and Rob and Justin and Mary and Jim and Tyler and all these other guys, you're going to get this crazy dude right here who has you mixed up with somebody else, even if everything that we did here we were guilty of, which we're not. And I think that you guys as viewers can hopefully discern by many, many different red flags that we're not guilty of this. And you can totally hear the dog in the background. Even if we were, does that warrant the assault, the vulgarity, the ridiculousness that he has sent my way? Again, it's not something that truly is, I'm butthurt over it because, like I said, I spent 2 years out in Iraq. There's not a lot of shit that you could do to me that's gonna really affect me. But it really worries me, to think that somebody else would be in a situation like this and not be safe, to be worried, to be concerned, to be scared, to not want to play the game or to move away from, a great opportunity to make friends because of one asshole like this. So ultimately, guys, be safe, make friends. I've made some friends in this game, but ultimately be safe. With that being said, hopefully you like what I'm saying here. You guys know the deal. If you did, if you didn't, let me know why in the comments section below. And until next time, I'll see you.